It's been a while since my last video reflection. I think the last one was somewhere in late July when I was at U Chicago with Thu and Riste and Minan and Jungmin, which was a fun time. It really was a fun time. I'm back at school now. Between the U Chicago camp and my homecoming, quite a bit has happened. Firstly, I went to the Philippines for Umdalsan, which is like an appropriate technology volunteer club. This time, instead of trying to fix the failure of the gravity-driven purifiers that I've been working on for the last 3 years, I started a new project, and it was much more successful and, well, personally satisfying to me compared to the last one. This one was a hand crank flashlight, which is very simple. But instead of the traditional hand crank, where you used an external crank to generate electricity through a motor, through a reverse wired motor, or used a chainsaw, which would spool up the motor. Both of those methods have their problems. Firstly, for the hand crank one, it's basically using an external shaft, so it's more bulky, and you need two hands to, well, I mean, everything needs two hands to operate it, but it needs, because it needs the external shaft, it's much more fragile, because when you're mass producing something like that, you normally don't use metal or aluminium, steel or aluminium. So when you make something like that, a lever arm with plastic, it loves to break off, and when you drop it and things like that. So there's a fragility problem with the traditional hand crank design. And when you're trying to use it in an environment that's very easy to drop and very easy for water or dust or stuff to get stuck, it's just not exactly the best environment for that, especially when the people that are using it are children or students of a very young age. And then the other chainsaw method is, firstly, it needs the big problem that I've noticed, because I have each of those models. I have a hand crank one kit, a hand crank flashlight kit that I've bought online, and I also have a chainsaw style flashlight kit. The chainsaw one tends to get really worn out, the cord, and it's also very easy to snag, or it just takes off a lot more space, because with the hand crank one you just do this, right? With the chainsaw one you're doing this, and you need to pull it out a lot, which is one of the problems that I've noticed. So my design is quite a bit different from those two. It uses a planetary gearbox, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically, just think of it as there's a gear for the sun, a gear for planets, and then there's a ring gear, and everything is kind of touching each other. And then when you turn the carrier, which is connected to the 3 planets, then basically you get to turn the sun gear at a faster revolution. It's pretty cool. And the best thing is you can stack these planetary gearboxes axially, which means you can create a very high gear ratio in a very compact space. That's exactly what I did. And the other pro is that it doesn't need a external hand crank on the side. So if you just picture a traditional flashlight, you just need your front hand and your back hand, and you can just turn it, and it'll generate electricity because there's a planetary gearbox here. And then your handle is connected to the carrier. So that's how that works. Yeah, I made 100 of those, which my 3D printers were working overtime, definitely. I made about 100 of those. And initially I was going to get the students at the Philippine elementary schools to assemble them, but that did not work out as planned, because it's just way too difficult for kids to make. Now, I'm not saying I underestimate kids. I was just overestimating everyone's capacity to build stuff. And by everyone, I mean my Ongdalsim clubmates. The reason I say this is because, well, since I needed a lot more staff than myself for teaching the students to assemble those kits, I first needed to teach my clubmates to assemble each flashlight. That did not go well. So and then I just decided, well, I'm not gonna get the kids to assemble them by themselves. I'll just assemble everything, and then I'll just give them out to kids, and we can, I'll just explain how it works. And that's exactly what we did. Oh, and as an additional feature, on the rear side of the handle, so if your handle is here, on this side, there's also a whistle that's very loud. It's about 119 decibels, 3D printed whistle. Just turn it, pull it out, and blow on it. So it's like a safety emergency whistle. So yeah, that's the flashlight. And by the way, the power it generates is about 3 to 4 times as bright as your phone flashlight. It's about a 3-watt LED compared to the 1-watt LED that's inside your phone. And the way it's configured makes it so that it's very bright. Yeah, so it was a pretty cool project. I'm so glad it worked out fantastically. And yeah, and then after that, but for about 2 weeks, I've been writing
41대 행정위원회에서 안내 말씀드립니다. 방학 동안 의자를 식공에 보관하셨던 학생분들은
it's like
10시부터 11시까지 자신의 의자를 찾아가 주시길 바랍니다.
That's a school
추가적으로 본인의 의자가 아닌 의자를 가져간 사례가 발생하고 있습니다. 이름표가 떨어져 본인의 의자를 헷갈리신 분들은 10공으로 다시 가져와 주시길 바랍니다. 또한 2층에 수거된 개인 물품을 가져와 주시기 바랍니다. 다시 한번 말씀드립니다. 방학 동안 의자를 10공에 보관하셨던 학생분들은 10시부터 11시까지 자신의 의자를 찾아가 주시기 바랍니다. 추가적으로 본인의 의자가 아닌 의자를 가져간 사례가 발생하고 있습니다. 이름표가 떨어져 본인의 의자를 헷갈리신 분들은 10공으로 다시 가져와 주시기 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
Yeah, so they were basically just telling kids to take their, what do you call it? Take their chairs, because normally we have our chairs piled up in one of, like the storage rooms. I mean, it's not a storage room, it's like a meeting room, one of the meeting rooms during the vacation, because there's like a whole camp, summer camp for our school. But basically they were just announcing for the students to take their own chairs. Basically, back to my story now. And yeah, so I've worked on my essay for a couple weeks, and I am actually really satisfied with where it is right now. Yeah. But there's definitely things that I need to improve on, things that will make the essay, soar to greater heights, I guess. Right now it's a bit focused on the revelation part of the story and building up to that revelation, which is great. There's nothing really wrong with that format, but I think the better way it should be framed is as there should be more details and just more allotted words to explain and describe how I changed and really show that change instead of just telling them how I changed. So that's basically it. And since I do have a bit more time today, and this is probably the most time I'm going to have for a video reflection in a while, so I'm just going to read the essay. It's here. This is like I think it's like the 11th or the 12th version. It's somewhere there. All right. I'll start. It had been 8 months since my first motorcycle ride in Indonesia, and although my initial experience was getting a little hazy, the constant online exposure to motorcycling was enough to perfect my expectations for today. From late-night Tokyo cruising ASMR videos on YouTube to the Bible for motorcyclists at my local library, I had watched, listened, and read it all. Even during the cold season of heartbreak, audio clips of bike exhausts would chase away restless nights, and the highway winds from beyond the screen would dry my tears. And today it would all come to life. I turned the key and hit the ignition. This was going to be fantastic. By the time I reached my second left turn, motorcycling was getting a lot less fantastic. On the asphalt stage, I had accidentally begun performing my original play. Idiot forgot to turn left, but remembered at the last moment and is blocking 2 lanes of traffic. What made this an unfortunate tragedy for the audience was the fact that the role of idiot was assigned to a teenage biker currently struggling to restart his motorcycle as it slid downhill. The crowd went wild. Car horns blasted from all sides. Drivers started rolling down windows. Someone even popped open their door. I could already picture the angry Korean drivers from the viral road rage videos. My mind was panicking. I snatched the brake lever, barely avoiding a rubbery kiss with the car behind me. Now what? I could play piano with the ignition button and ease the clutch with the silkiest of strokes. But no matter how many times I tried, the engine just wouldn't get power to the rear wheel. The cacophony of applauding honks got louder. My hands shook. Was it a power problem? The reviewers did say the bike was a bit slow. Did the dealer trick me? I should have listened when they told me the used bike market was full of scammers. A mechanical click sounded from the handle. A skinny man with a black beard came into focus as my mind adjusted to reality. Jesus? No. His rock and roll skull t-shirt and unzipped post office vest assured me. He stood to my left, one hand stretched out to calm the piled cars, the other reaching down to toggle my emergency lights. Calm down, it's okay, he said slowly. You're going to step on the rear brake and let go of the front brake. Got it? Good. Now grab the clutch and start the engine. Good. Now you're going to gently pull the throttle as you ease off the clutch. The bike hummed forward. The solution seemed so obvious. I had seen it dozens of times on tutorial videos, heard about it on podcasts, read about it in guidebooks. Yet somehow, it had never occurred to me. I turned my head and thanked the man. He smirked, apparently noticing my blush of dumbfounded disbelief. Not as easy as you thought, huh? Well, that's the thing with bikes. You gotta get out there and actually ride it yourself. Stay safe, kid. That was the thing with bikes. And for 20,000 miles, the postman's wisdom has helped me stay alive. But as the odometer of life clicked past each milestone, I discovered that his advice wasn't just a pillion for the road. It was a lesson for life. Whether I cruised through the sunset-soaked fields of Gangwon or designed appropriate technology for Laotian villages, his words reminded me to never mistake exposure for experience. I still fall asleep to YouTube clips of exhaust notes, but I listen differently now. They're invitations from unexplored horizons rather than substitutes for life-changing journeys. And whenever I catch myself building a verdict out of borrowed footage about a place, a person, a path I haven't traveled, I hear the honks. So I flick on my signal and go find out for myself. Rear brake, clutch, throttle. So that's my essay. It's about 649 words. Right now it says 670. Oh, that's because I wrote the feedback down here. But yeah, it's about 649 words, so it's about spot on. I am going to change it a bit. I'm going to probably change it a bit after I get feedback from Wayne and Garyok and Mr. Yoon. But before then, I like it quite a lot as it is. And I do feel like I need to kind of show how I changed. But honestly, this isn't bad. I actually really like how this turned out. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing so far. And I've also been doing volunteer work for Soul Station for a couple days, not weeks because of time. Yeah, that's it. And this vacation has really taught me what's really important, just in general. And it's not like competitions or just college or just those titles. It's more about the people, and I really hope I don't forget that in here, because it gets really easy to forget that it's very not competitive, but kids are very stressed. I mean, I'm also stressed, obviously, but I hope I'm not affected by that too much, and hopefully the next time I turn on a video reflection, firstly, I hope I get to turn on a video reflection. I hope I can make the time to. But when I do, I hope I'm not too swayed by the atmosphere in here and don't get discouraged. Anyway, that's it, and I will see you guys next time. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.